Hi, good morning. Welcome to the meditation live stream. This is Scott. Here on my channel we do meditation, but it's kind of like mindfulness 2.0. There are likely many different meditation channels like me, but I think we're all prototyping a kind of new version of meditation that allows for the adaptability we need in today's world. So, in my experience and understanding and synthesis of things, we have our body, we have our emotion, we have our mind, and we have our relationships. So those, at least those four things will need to be involved in the meditation practice. And the way that I like to involve them is through awareness and time in those different aspects of who we are. You could call them dimensions. And really they're like domains. You know, we have our domain of our emotion, for example. And mostly what you'll hear or see on the internet is that emotions are wrong or bad, and that we don't really have a need for emotion in meditation. We need to get rid of our emotions or our negative beliefs or our whatever. And this is limiting because we have such a variety, or like a full color palette of emotional experiences in life. And when you live in today's world, any number of those emotional activities can be sort of hijacked, you could say, by your smartphone. And you could immediately open your smartphone and become sad or angry, for example. And so we'll need, this is my understanding, so we'll need new ways to deal with how things are making us feel, or how we feel about things that are trying to make us feel a certain way. And I believe that this is very empowering, and to combine that empowerment with awareness is key for integration. So I'd like to give a brief talk, and then we'll get into that guided practice. Today we'll go for about 45 or so minutes. And I wanted to talk a little bit about Charles Eisenstein, because every now and then I like to think about his work. And I had wondered what he was up to lately. I remember reading, I think it was before the pandemic, a book he wrote called The World We All Know Is Possible in Our Hearts. And I like that book. I like the ideas in that book. And I saw that he's doing something called the Sanity Project, which I think is interesting. But I'd like to share a concept that he said that I think is resonant, at least in my world, which is that there are people who spiritually bypass, which is sort of like using spiritual practices to avoid difficult conversations, developmental milestones, people that use spirituality to avoid important life decisions or important adult-oriented tasks. But there's also what he said, which was interesting, that goes along with this, is that there could be political bypassing, which says that it's very similar as using, instead of spirituality, using your politics to avoid the same kinds of things you would avoid with your spiritual practice, which I thought was fascinating. You know, you could be using your politics to avoid difficult conversations, life-oriented, developmental milestones, and important responsibilities and tasks, which is anything I suppose you could fall into a kind of blindness to what your devoted nature to a thing becomes. The blindness can, and that devotion can mask other things in your life that are equally valid or important. So I just thought that was interesting. So I will read a little bit and then we'll practice. This is The Space Between by Peter Mitchell. It's all about the awakening in the intersubjective space between us. Let's see. I like this one. I'll read here. Why do we keep coming back? This is not a homogeneous group speaking with one single voice, constrained and controlled to mirror each other. It is a rich diversity of interested people of all ages, backgrounds, who are willing to be transparent together and explore and discover something new. I asked a few of them to share their reasons for coming back. Here are some of the different voices with their own perspective that produces a rich chord of coherence. I tend to view each meeting as a discrete event which has its own flavor. The meetings provide a forum to meet beyond the ego and mind. For me, that is the main reason for my participation. I actually feel my need for understanding has diminished over time. It may be knowing that I've become more comfortable with not knowing. The realization I shared in the last meeting came as a result of being in a guided meditation in the context of a spiritual healing course I'm taking. And then, in this group, I shared it as an idea or a memory that I knew theoretically was somehow important. But then when speaking, it developed, I believe, as a result of people in the group receiving it and listening beyond the left brain words. So maybe that's what draws me into the group. Without such conversations, I don't seem to have those kinds of reminders and discoveries. I question it, though, because nothing seems to stick, and I return to being my usual unenlightened self when alone and back in my solitary head. I need to engage more with others to bring it forward, even though temporarily. And so we'll stop there today. We'll begin with practice, gently closing your eyes, going inside. We'll start with some deep breaths in through the nose and then out through the mouth. Feeling your body on the in-breath, just letting go of distress and tension on the out-breath. Allowing your breath to reach all the way down into your pelvic floor, your legs and feet. Very good. We'll do 3 more. Now allowing your breath to return to your usual way of breathing. Begin to feel your body and your body sensations. You can feel your body's tingling, pulsing. Some areas might feel like they are pressurized. Some might feel open. You can notice your body's temperature, sense of aliveness. You can feel your body's contact with the earth underneath you, your connection with the planet. And you can begin the practice of feeling and softening. On the in-breath, feeling your body. And then on the out-breath, softening and melting down through your body into the earth. And the softening and the melting can be like warm honey. And as it travels down, both inside and outside your body, it cleanses, heals, purifies, and makes whole as it travels down through you, collecting impure energy or stale, stagnant, toxic energies, bringing it down your body and then deep into the earth, where the earth receives that energy and transforms and recycles it. Each breath wave, you get a little bit closer to your body and melt just a little bit deeper into the earth. attention up into your heart space, feeling your heart, center of your chest. And you can imagine as though you're breathing directly in and out of your heart. On the in-breath, feeling your heart. And then on the out-breath, softening and expanding your heart. Just feeling and softening. Coming in contact with your emotions, you can notice what's present for you emotionally right now, and without making your emotions right or wrong, good or bad, just allowing yourself to feel a little bit in the shared space. Human beings, because of the way we are made, are meant to feel things together rather than alone, as part of good emotional hygiene. And you could be feeling any of the 5 main cardinal emotions like anger, sadness, fear, joy, or shame. And just noticing what you're feeling right now and feeling a little bit together. Very good. And just a few more cycles of breath in the heart space. On the in-breath, feeling your heart. Out-breath, softening and expanding your heart. Bringing your attention up now into your head, feeling your head on the in-breath. And then on the out-breath, softening in and around your skull. And you can, if you like, breathe into your third eye space between your eyebrows or the top of your head, your crown, whichever feels correct for you, and just feeling and softening in and around your head. And don't try to get rid of your thoughts. Just allow your thoughts to come and go. It can be very useful to notice that when you've been pulled into a thought, to come back to feeling. So like if you're actively thinking in a thought, all of a sudden, you notice, and then come back to feeling your body, your spine, your connection to the planet, for grounding and anchoring. And from here, before we move into the next technique, we'll do some tree breath. Now, the tree breath is pretty simple. It's sort of like a tree. And if you were a tree, and starting at sort of your roots, the base of your body, on the in-breath, drawing up from the earth, energy up from the earth, on the in-breath up to the top of your head, sort of like your branches and your leaves. And then on the out-breath, back down your body, and then back into the earth. So on the in-breath, breathing up your body, and then on the out-breath, breathing back down your body into the earth. And you may notice that some areas in your body you may feel well as you're breathing up and then breathing back down your body. Some areas you'll feel less well, and that's normal, just noticing what it's like for you. And from here we can gently open our eyes, and we'll practice a little bit with our eyes open now. And keeping your eyes soft, we'll take a moment of appreciation for the work we did with our eyes closed. And just settling a little bit further back in your body. We'll practice in the relational space. So, the relational space is both outside and inside. Every relationship has an outside and an inside. And it's possible to practice that work, that part, those dimensions. So on the in-breath, feeling around you, the space around you. And then on the out-breath, feeling inside you. So in-breath, outside. Out-breath, inside. And you might notice that it could be a little easier to feel outside rather than inside, or vice versa. It could be easier to feel inside rather than outside. And either way, just noticing what it's like for you. Just noticing feeling outside and then feeling inside. The distinction between the two. Is it easier to feel outside one side rather than another side? Today it seems to be easier for me to feel over here rather than over here, outside. Just noticing what it's like for you. You don't have to be like me. It could just be however it is for you. Great, and then if you'd like, you can also add in qualities to your practice of love, compassion, and gratitude. You can pick one, like love, for example, or you could pick two, or you could do all three: love, compassion, gratitude. And feeling love, compassion, and gratitude on the in-breath all around you. And then on the out-breath, love, compassion, and gratitude towards yourself. And just practice sending and receiving love, compassion, and gratitude. Great. And from here we can set our prayers and our intentions for the day. I'll be quiet so you can do yours. May this work that we do transform our life, offering up blessings and healing, and ripple out into the community. Amen. Wonderful. Thank you for joining me. Have an awesome day, and I'll be back again tomorrow. See you then. Bye-bye.